everyone. This is XAVIER speaking, the founder of SAMAMBA, creative director, artist manager and mentor especially, and at this moment your host of Playtime. First season of Playtime, it's actually about to by the end now, and we have today the DJ Juca playing. We met Juca in our master course here in Barcelona at Week, and it's a pleasure to have her playing for us her set while we host this last episode of Playtime, which is the episode 5th episode of this 5-episode series. This one is called Pon The Replay, because basically what we're gonna do is recap what we have done in this past months, me and Michelle together. For those who don't know, I am mentoring and managing Michelle. We also met, as I said, in the master course of Arts and Culture Management here in Barcelona like 2 years ago, and since then we've been collaborating, and this relationship developed in many interesting ways. And we're gonna be recapping all of this review as well as the previous episodes of the series. And we also have a special guest in this episode to wrap this in a special note, I guess. And I'm just gonna add here for you the QR code of Joanna that I'm trying to find. Where is it? I think I downloaded it, but anyways, if I can't find, check in the description of the video below. I'll be tagging Juca, so you can also follow her and support her work as well. Cool. Let's do this. Mish. Tell me.
What's up?
Tell me. I don't know how have you been feeling with the end of the season. I mean, this is actually Playtime season that we're talking about, because we will keep working together.
Yeah, we're not done.
It's not
we're just getting started.
This is just one of our strategies to show the artist work. Our strategy, I mean more me. I'm the founder of SAMAMBA, so I use this platform to boost artists that I create our artistic experiences around arts and culture. So why not using this platform now for also this content that we're bringing for you to again help promoting the artists that I manage, that I mentor, and that I also co-create experiences for SAMAMBA with, which is the case of Michelle as well. We have been collaborating as managers and artists, that mentor an artist, but also co-creating experiences for a long time. Even started like that, right, our relationship, and now it's developing in other ways.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you feel so far, with your development, and I don't know.
Yeah.
What it is.
Well, I'm very happy. I have to credit you a lot for my growth, as especially conceptually in my artwork, because even when we started, because I was about to say 1 year ago I felt very lost conceptually, but it was not just last year, it was even at the beginning of this year when we started working together. I didn't even understand my styles, because I paint, as you have learned now throughout these 5 episodes, I paint the People series and the Artifact series in situ, which is more this style. And then the People series is literally people. And you're also helping me now, we've been talking about the abstract maps, which is a new series. It's not so new, but like being able to put a label and a name and understanding what each style needs to do and what it needs and what it's for.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I didn't have, nothing was clear to me. Like, I didn't know that I had the People series and I had this In Situ series. For me, I was just painting and like that's what came out, like the people and these people.
Yeah, the little fellow.
Yeah, and these characters. But for me, I struggled. I could never even, when I would try to speak about it, like I was not clear. I couldn't even understand myself. So I think today we're going to be sharing like the processes that we did.
Yeah.
You pushed me so much. So I'm
I
very
hope not
thankful.
too much.
No, like just
Enough.
just enough, like enough to make things clear for myself too.
Yeah, I think like that's the advantage I have with as someone that looks from outside. No, I'm not in your mind, but I'm very curious about your mind and what's going on.
Yeah, and I think you're very also like business oriented and very serious. So I think this is necessary because I don't want to speak for all artists, but there is that stereotype that artists are lazy and they don't know how to do business and all these myths.
Practical,
Yeah.
and marketing stuff.
All these myths about artists. I fell into that cliche, and so having somebody that is business oriented, marketing oriented, and with your background as a designer, also all these things accumulated makes the perfect mentor if anybody needs.
Hire me.
Yeah.
No, but like I think it makes a lot of sense because one, I am outside, so it's easier for me to like be able to see it in a more detached way, because of course you're the painter, you're the creator, you have most of the time emotions involved and a lot of ideas, and you just want to put it out there, and you're not thinking about how to organize this information. And of course, like then with this, my background as I did like a bachelor's in marketing and business, so this comes from there. But I worked as a designer for years, like 6 years. So all of these experiences kind of shaped me how I work, like in my mindset, And basically like, okay, I'm always trying to look for the artist ways, like the potential of business with what they do. Because again, my idea here is not like, it's not like this. Of course, like we need marketing and we need business artists. Otherwise, if you want, okay, like if you tell me in the beginning, like if we start working together and tell me, Shav, I don't care about working in a cafe for my whole life and not pay my bills with art, then okay, then it's like a different thing, But if you tell me I want to live off everything I create, then okay, then we have to create products because that's how you sell, that's how you pay your bills, and that's how you'll be living off your art. And again, that's also like one of my first questions is what do you want? Like what is your goal? What is your objective? Because they can be different. If you don't really want to pay your bills with art, but you want status, be known, there are different things. Most of the times, artists want both, they want to get recognized and they also want to live from that because that's what they like to do. And that's what I have to do as a manager and mentor. And I say mentor all the time because that's my approach. I don't like to be like, okay, Michelle, give me the work, I do it for you here, I like to be a mentor, like, okay, what is the challenge and how you can be better here or how we can work this together, because I like more a guidance approach than necessarily just like I'm doing a service for you or whatever. So that's also why I say a lot of time I'm more than a manager, I'm a mentor, and that's how I like to work with people. And I don't know, I think we should say a little bit like about all this process that we're talking, like how it looks and stuff like that. And again, this more design approach, like design expertise kinda and mindset that I have, because it's more of a mindset. It helps to organize information. So here you can see a whole process, a methodology that I have created to work with all the artists that I work with, that we go through. And this is literally for me to understand this artist, a mind. So we start about that, like, who are you, with interviews, you know, we have like talk sessions. Literally I ask them to tell me like what are their values, what they, and be very honest as well, always like very honest about themselves. So where's like their deficiencies, you know, or what are their good skills as well. So we start to do like this whole mapping of the artist as a person, not necessarily as an artist yet. And from there, okay, understand who this artist is as a person first, and what makes them happy, you know, how they work, their personality, because then I also know how to work with them, you know. And then from there, okay, what is the work that you do? Tell me, like, show me everything you have, and then slowly we start to categorize the stuff, organize them. It's creating, you know, like a libraries. How do I say it? Like
a library?
Yeah, like that you categorize information. Yeah. You know?
I know what you mean, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
like this system.
Yeah, an architecture, like I don't know. It's just basic organization of information, and grouping them in certain things, because it just like any type of
archive.
Yeah, it could be also an archive of things, of information that later can become a design. So for example, before we need to understand all this information that is part of this artist's universe, no, because it's huge, it's complex, it's many things, and how it connects with them as well. So that's why I have to understand who they are, so we can build in the end materials that make sense.
Yeah,
you know, that we can communicate to others who this artist is, what is their work, and like that later in the end we have such a thing as the portfolio here, no? Like this is like example of the portfolio. This is the portfolio we created for Michelle to start to show her work to any of the targeted audiences that we have created together as well. Because one of the objectives that we have created was to get gallery representation, for example. It was promoting you in market, and so people need to understand who you are and what you do.
Yeah, and so before all of this process, like the video that you just saw, I mean, I knew I had to do this, but there were things that I never even thought about. Like, I never thought who my intended audience was. You know, artists, or like, for me, I'm a painter, so I'm painting. And like you said, often there's emotions involved, and it's just like the action of painting. And I don't think, who is this painting going to go to? Like, what type of person would buy this? So then, what in these documents and in this process of understanding and targeting, like, we were able to identify what type of collectors, what type of customers the work would go to, what type of galleries I need to search for. Things like this, like things I didn't even think about beforehand.
And I think this process that I've created, I think the interesting thing is that it's authentic. I'm not molding you like, Michelle, like, do this because this is what's trending, you know, this is what people want. No, I'm like, I need to know what's trending. I need to understand the market. I need to understand the art world. You know, I need to understand the buyers, potential buyers, etc. I have to know this knowledge as a manager, as a mentor, you know, as a business person. But I'm not forcing the artist to fit in a box. I check what they have in the box of themselves, you know, and I'm like, okay, this fits here, this fits there.
I like that.
Yeah.
That example, that analogy. Yeah, and it's like what you said. Firstly, it's get to know the artist, like the personality and everything. And this was a document as well. And again, I realized things that I didn't even know. I mean, not that I didn't know about myself, but it's like things that I lived, and now I see how it relates to my present day and my current artwork. So that was one of the documents as well. And as you saw, also the mind map. I even had to ask a friend, or like ask people that know me, ask them about me, like, how do you see me? And this is something you suggested as well. And so I learned things that other people perceive me, but that I see is true about me. So it's also important to know the artist, because the artist is the one out of which the artwork comes from.
Yeah, and that's what, to me, that's what's the most beautiful part, is like not to interfere in what you do, but guide, like, okay, this fits there, or with this public. So for example, this artwork that you see behind me, it's called Belongs in a Museum, right? And this is part of In Situ series, sorry. I have experience because I was about to tell you this as well. So this is part of In Situ series, which is totally different. The strategy, the target is totally different from the People series. It's like, who wants this type of work? It's not the same people that wants the People series.
Yes.
And that's key for any artist to have in their strategy, because you won't go to a gallery that wants like abstract contemporary art with this. This doesn't make sense. They will tell you no right away, but you can come with this type of art to like a more pop type of gallery, still contemporary, but that look are they're more like, more about the pop art, like, and contemporary trends of art, of like illustration or other mediums, they're more like still in development, I think, in the art world. There's still some biases about them, like taboo kind of thing. Like, this is not art, but there are galleries that think they're art, and I believe it too, artwork.
Yeah. You
I
listened to
learned.
my episode?
I mean, you always say that. Yeah. So they also are artwork, it's just a different way of expressing, a different way to putting your whatever you have inside yourself, which is not a classical painting, realistic or whatever, even abstract, but my point. And one of the ways that we do as well, so I basically, this work that we have done is to promote Michelle, is to also categorize her work so we can create better strategies, so career strategies, business strategies, marketing, communication strategy, how we talk about Michelle, to people, what we tell people as well. It's not everything, you shouldn't just like spew out and never think about what you're telling people. You have to be strategic. You have to have a story to tell which makes sense. And that's what we're now intensely doing with the People series, the In Situ series. I was like,
also something that I just loved, like when we first started working on this classification of these series and everything, I remember that I also really, like I said, I struggled with these two series, and I was just painting, and it was like two separate styles. And I always received comments, like all throughout my college when I was studying painting, and then in other situations and residencies and everything, like a lot of people would say, choose one, basically. I mean, they didn't say that, but like they would, like, I have these two distinct styles, and everyone was kind of like putting me in a box and like limiting me and telling me, no, you can't do these, you have to make up your mind, choose one. And something that stood out to me that you said was, well, it's not like you have to choose one. It's not like you cannot do both. You just need to know what each one is and be able to explain each one.
Yeah.
So I think that was very important for somebody that has all these different styles, that it's not like you have to stop painting in a certain way. No, you need to, as artists, we need to know how to talk and explain and like think and process and be able to explain in a way that others understand, because maybe maybe I understand, well, I didn't understand, but like maybe I know what I'm painting about or the artist knows, but you need to be able to express clearly with words and a clear concept so that others know what the artwork is about.
Yeah, exactly. Good student.
Oh my god, I was dying. Like, I couldn't even finish saying that.
No, but that's exactly it. And that's, again, like also not only about me. Actually, I'm very grateful for being working with you because the willingness to hear and to exchange, because I know they're two different worlds. I know it can be very challenging for an artist to like understand maybe or like apply these things, you know, because it is more like I know it's much more like methodical and you know, but it's important to have the willingness to try and put the effort, because this will be worth it, you know. And that's, I really appreciate you doing that and being open, because also a lot of artists are not open to hear this, which my idea here is to help, you know, like is to be able to enable these artists to live off what they love to do. Like that's my main mission here and that I put for my life. Of course I want to live off this as well. I love what I do. That's why I do this as well. It's not an easy path, but that's what I want to do. And with my intention is for that, you know, it's not like capitalist stuff like that. We live in this world and we need money as a tool for us to live, you know. And if we choose to be living in this society, you know, be part of it, we need to accept some basic things that are part of the society that we are applying, like that we are being part of, you know. So okay, let me go to the in situ experience, because one of the things that, like, some of the strategies that we have built together then to promote and even to acquire some money for you know, like money income strategies, they were about, like, of course, the basic stuff, creating prints based on the artworks, but then with SAMAMBA, of course, since we create experiences, which is like, you can call them event if you want, but I don't like it because they're not necessarily events. But I mean, events, nothing is more than like a gathering of people that something happens with a goal. So it's also events, but I like to call it experiences, since I am an experienced designer for 5 years of my life, so this is very strong in me. I even have a tattoo, like XD, experience design. So I call this experience, but yeah, so we created this in situ experience, and do you want to talk a bit? Like last weekend, we had the first like test prototype of this experience in an event that was that some people commissioned SAMAMBA to be there with some of our experiences around arts and culture, and I invited Michelle to be there with me to test some of our creations based on in situ series, which is called in situ experience. It has the name of the series, and I have here a little video of how it looked. So we have some of the paintings.
Something that something I love that you will keep saying is like that this was a test. It was a pocket experience of this experience that we are organizing and planning out. I forgot what I was gonna say, but I think I was going to say that I like that you say it's a test, because although I've participated in art shows and, you know, I've been in events and this type of environment, although I have accumulated my own experience in talking and about my work and like in that setting, I think there are still some new things that we are doing. Like this that's playing right now, that's a puzzle piece. It's a puzzle on canvases, and like the vision is to someday have it vertically, so it's like a painting on the wall. And typically in a gallery or in an art show, you see the painting on the wall and you're standing here and the wall is there and you cannot touch the artwork. But this one is a puzzle, so people need to grab it and touch it and move it and make the image. And so this is something new, so I like this term, like a test
or prototype.
A prototype experiment, because it is for us like a way to get feedback and take notes and then us discuss before and like before the main event, the main experience, so that experience can be the best that we can do. You know what I mean?
And let me just explain that better even, like because in situ experience, stay tuned by the way, because this will be happening. We already have the concept of the whole experience. We're now looking for a venue that fits with our values. We are very careful with everything we do, with everybody that we partner up. So that's the point that we are. But as soon as we have the venue, like, we're going to start producing it. But that's why you can see in that video, because we already have like the experience done, like the whole concept, the artworks selected and stuff like that. So pretty soon we're gonna have in situ experience happening in Barcelona. So stay tuned for that. But basically what we did is we used some of the events that we, SAMAMBA, that we were invited to go to. We were hired to be there with our experiences, and I invited Michelle to prototype like a pocket version. So just to give you a taste of what in situ experience, the full experience would be. So this is just a little taste of this, so we could test like our ideas that we had with some people already, to see if this could be really applied in the actual experience, that we are creating. So yeah, like, I'm very excited actually for the in situ experience, and overall this was very successful.
That's what I was just going to say.
So we have here this. Can you explain this as well?
Yes, that is an. It's funny. I think I will start by explaining it this way: that in this event or in this moment, I remember somebody looked at those boxes and said, is that artwork or an activity? And I said, it's both.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interactive artwork. So the idea is...
Guys, this box that you're seeing now...
Those boxes, yes. They're filled with sand, but actually it's wood sand, like wood dust. And so basically you have to find the artwork. It's just another way to look at the artwork again, instead of it being on the wall and you standing away and looking from a distance. It's interactive in the sense of searching for it and playing with the idea of looking for culture, which is what in situ is about. And as you can see, this, like, the appearance looks like an ancient artifact.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've said in other videos, like, in situ also means, it's from Latin and comes from an archaeology term, in its place, meaning that something was found in its place. But also in this title, it's a question: was it found in its place? So we don't know. So in those sandboxes, it's to mimic the action of excavating.
Yeah, like an archaeologist.
Yes.
So if you want to understand the whole concept, you should come to in situ experience if you're in Barcelona, because we won't give you more spoilers about it. But that's like one of the strategies, you know, that I create with the artist. Is to create this experience so that people can be in touch with this artist, you know, live there with them, understand deeper their work, because the experience is all about one series, you know, and people really get immersed. They can interact with it, they can participate and be like an active person in this night or this day, depending how the time we're gonna do, but it depends always. But I think that's a very important part, to put people in touch with this emerging artists in a more intimate way, in a more interactive way, participatory way. And this is like what SAMAMBA does, and that's why me as a manager and mentor, I use this platform as well to create this more interactive contact between the artist, and the public. And of course, as I mentioned before, one of our goals was to get gallery representation for Michelle, and we did it. Where's the sound effects? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't put here. I'm sorry. I didn't have the
Or
time.
confetti.
Yeah, exactly, the confetti and everything. So we actually did, and we're very happy about that. And we have today the owner of the gallery as our special guest. We want to announce this for you here as well, firsthand, but also introduce you to the gallery Optica and to Silvia, so you can get to know better also her platform, how it works, and how we also met, I guess, because this is also a very cool story. And I'm gonna invite her now to join us. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Silvia.
Hearing as well.
How are you? Yeah, everything is fine.
Cool, perfect. So yeah, like if you want to introduce you a little bit for the people that is listening and watching.
Well, I'm from Costa Rica. My name is Silvia, and I have a project, like a platform for the Latin American artists, and show by online sites their work into the world. I studied cultural management, and kind of how I met them. And I'm very thankful for being here and be part of the last episode of Playtime.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And I think it's very cool to have you here and to also give like your perspective, someone else's perspective about the work we have done together, but also the work, Michelle's work itself. And I think this would be a very nice way to wrap up this first season of Playtime series. And we plan to do more series with other artists. Again, this is was just about Michelle's, and that's what we aim to do with this show, is to go really deep with one artist to understand, to promote this work in a very in-depth way and 360 way, with each artist that we invite to be during these 5 episodes with us. But yeah, so how we met then. I think that's our first good introduction. Yeah. We all.
Do you want to tell?
Yeah, I don't know. I talk so much, so maybe one of you can see.
Silvia, share your perspective.
Well, my perspective was we have a classmate in common in the master, and one time he invited all of us to his exposition, experience, curatorial practice, something like that, installation, and he introduced me to Shaf in that event, and we talked. And then in that same event, I knew Michelle also, and I came back to Costa Rica because everything was happening in Barcelona, and now we're talking virtually. We as a gallery, we are very happy to have Michelle with us. I forgot to say that, and also work with Samamba and Shaf. We think that it's a great opportunity for young artists to start with their careers, and we help everything that it's a good job or something that it's made with passion and just to be better, to have a better opportunities. We work with that. So thank you for inviting me. And yeah, that's the resume of the history, that how we met.
Yeah, Now I remember the first time that we met, and we like, I don't know, the talk was so nice, you know, it was so cool
Yes.
because I've
Oh,
been,
yes. Museum. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know, to me, since I'm also starting, I mean, the master, this arts and culture, like to me at least, has been like 2 years, like in very intensely, because I'm doing my best to live off of this as soon as I can. Um, but it still is a very new, so you know, like finally finding someone that also like wants to do similar stuff as me, that was very good for me, you know, to, and that's also an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur like I am, so, and also manager, you know, so this was very cool because I finally found like an equal, you know, and that I could
Yes.
talk about many things, that I had the same interests, and that I admire as well, like the work, the passion as well, because I understand it's like not easy to start a business, not easy to work with arts and culture. So it's like I admire everyone that do that, including Silvia. So it was very nice, all this
Yeah,
meeting.
and also something
Thanks,
important to say is
Daiki.
that I'm from Bar. I study painting as Michelle, and then I started doing cultural management here in my community in Costa Rica. So um, that's why I love cultural management. And see somebody with the same passion in culture, but with other background, like it's marketing and business, uh, that also get me interesting to work with, you know, because there's something that in arts happens, like as you already said, like the professionalism or the formality or some things. Uh, we have to change that, and people that are interested in cultural or artistic practices uh, may change that also.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think there's so many boundaries that we can start breaking, you know, just by us being starting and being able to already do an agreement, you know, between two parties in different continents, you know, and I don't know, this to me is already so nice. And virtual gallery, actually, I wanted to you to show and say a little bit. I have a video here because that's also another paradigm, no, that is different. It's something new that I totally believe in as well, like the digital gallery and the potential that it has.
Thank you. Yeah, my project is about that gallery slash platform for Latin American artists. We have like three main sites. The first one is the gallery, as you see it. You can buy, now you can buy the Michelle artworks, and that made me very happy.
And if you
But
want
also
to know the platform, the scan is here. Like just scan the
you
QR
can
code.
this, very
Yeah.
Yes, you got
Yeah.
it.
Optica.ef.com.
I'm gonna have the link as well in the description.
Thank you. And well, and the second side is this one that you're seeing, is the virtual room. We This is like a prototype to us, because I something that I want is have with digital art see the digital art as a tool for the real art, you know. But this is a good prototype to start with. My project also is very young, and we're hoping in the future to change a little bit that. But yeah, you can see everything very well there. And the third side is the magazine. It's 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 where you can see everything that you want to see about your artist. A blog, article, a news about the artists that are in the gallery, but also in the art context.
Yeah, this is also very nice. The platform as a content for the artist, you know, that they can themselves also write something, or like actually I still want to write an article about Michelle's work.
Yeah.
You volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, I volunteer. I do love writing, so I really want. I love Institute series, and I love writing. I will definitely do that.
Yes, and also to promote Samamba, because we're thinking about that in the future. We are hoping also to do like pop-ups, like a real small events, 3 days exposition to show the artworks in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very good way to interact with the the virtuality and the activities that we do in digital sites, but also to have the opportunity to see the artwork in real life, like personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe in the future we will do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that's like a bit of Optica and Silvia, no? So that's the gallery we have just done the partnership with Mish. And I want maybe us to go quickly through the artworks that were selected for the gallery, saying the name, if you want to say something about them, I think, or Silvia as well. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say that I have a few questions for Michelle and for you, for sure. But in the curatorial practice, I don't want to talk about it as a gallerist or as an artist or as a manager. I want to talk about the curatorial topics that came to my mind um, about the Michelle work. So I just want to do that something different.
Okay, you have the questions then? Should which like how
Yes.
how you want to see the do you want to see the
Painting,
the
the
paintings,
image?
or and then you do it, or you want to do it now?
Well, I have a few questions, two questions, and one exercise that I want to do with you.
Okay, let's do it.
And also the people that is watching can do it. The first one for Michelle is thinking about, because in your statement and your artworks are about the concept of migration. So, and it's very clear. So it's one of those that you talk in your creative process. So how you think you stay in Barcelona will affect your paintings in the future or the next series? Because you talk about your life in US and now in Barcelona. So just I want to know as a fan how you think that's gonna change in your painting.
I think it already has influenced.
Okay.
Like this series, Institute, started this year in February. So it started in Spain. And so I think I think like Spain is where I found myself. Not to get emotional or anything. Yeah, but like Spain is like where I found my style and where I found my mentor. So I think like I came to Spain directly after graduating from my painting degree. And I also studied French, but like my main focus is art and painting. So I came here like fresh out of college, not knowing. I mean, I studied my concepts and everything, but it's when I realized that culture was involved. Like at the very end, I was like, once I, spent the last senior year and I had all the artwork and I could see this concept showing through. And so that's why I wanted to learn more about culture. And then I came to Spain and I I think I've found my style.
Yeah,
Emotional.
because I asked you that because it's I think in US we can see migration
Mm-hmm.
different probably from Europe, from Spain, you know.
Yeah.
So as a big concept in your work, um, it changed, you know. Like you're gonna change, everything's gonna change, and the roots, as you paint and as you explain, for you the roots are very important also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I was wondering about like something has changed or maybe in the future or not at all. So yeah, and um, I want to say also that it's always important to start artistic or cultural project anywhere in the world. You know, as chef and myself we're doing, and also Michelle. Uh, but for chef, I also ask, what makes your project different?
Your turn.
Yeah.
Because so many people have had asked me that, so I want to ask you that. Like, what do you think makes your project different?
Yeah, and then you mean me as a
Men-
Samamba or-
Like,
Yeah.
what you are doing with Michelle?
Okay. Yeah, I think no, I'm like I totally agree with you because especially being in Barcelona, I mean, I also come from São Paulo, you know, which is huge. My family,
Yeah.
mostly in Rio, also huge. The cultural scene is amazing as well. There's so many things going on, and I think I know a lot because of that experiences there in those cities. They're big, very culture, like rich in culture and art. And now being Barcelona is not different, you know, like there's like a lot of competition with good people, good cultural producers, cultural managers, artists as well. There's a lot of talented people here. So since I arrived, I that's my goal was always how can I be different and add to this world that they don't need another thing that is the same, you know, like they don't like, and because more people will come and they will repeat the same formula. So it was always like this is very important to me. And I think first as a manager and mentor is this process that I've created, which is based in the design thinking that it's something I applied for years being a designer, and that I really think it helps so much to solve any problem. And here the artist's problem is understanding themselves as an artist that's still maturing, you know, like that's still emerging and needing to understand their work, understand the art world in a more practical and real way, because they come fresh out, like you come fresh out of school, of art school, and they learn how to paint, they learn the art history, they learn techniques.
That's it.
But that's it. They don't learn how to act in the real world or how to brand themselves, which is important. They hate this word branding, but I'm gonna say it because an artist it's just like to me it's no different as a business. They need to know how to do business, you know. The biggest artists out there, they are good business people, or they have someone that are very good in business with them, you know. That's all of the famous ones.
Or they're dead.
Yeah, or maybe
And somebody's doing their business.
exactly. So, so yeah, like I'll try to be even concise. So I think this process that I created of understanding the artists and being able with them to create in a practical and interactive way as well. This thing of interaction to me is very important, and participation. In Samamba, as a manager, as a mentor, being like one-on-one, close to them, having practical exercise that they can understand business in a practical way. You know, like I told you, like let's do your personas. Then you were imagine, you know, like who is this persona based on,
And if I can add something to your response, like what you just said, being one-on-one, that's something that I see is very different for Samamba, and something that you've said to me that you want to be different in this way is creating like being interpersonal and intimate with like being the mentor and the artist intimacy, like because there's many, like you said, there's many programs like this, or there's many people working in arts and culture, but they have their big company, or they could be small, but yeah, but they don't care really. Like they have 5 artists, 10 artists, 50 artists, like working with this artist, and then they're done with them, and then next artist, and they don't really like, you know, care and polish their relationship. So I think that's something that you really
and I need to understand at some point, like when I have, because I want to grow, no, when I have 5 artists, what will I do? Because it's a lot of time, no, to do this work that I do with you is a lot of time, because I am present, I am there. So what can I do when I have more? Like maybe I will need other people helping me, no, to taking care of that artist, the same approach. So I don't know yet. That's an answer for later. But like now I think that's it. Like this approach of being very practical with exercises, a very clear process that I go through with them from where are you, no, who are you, to what's the strategy. So there's many steps, very clear. And then with Samamba is this thing of being all the events, they are interactive, they are participatory, they are in depth again, being intimate with the artist, being in depth, really understanding the concept. That's also why I think that's another thing that makes Samamba unique, is that I don't, in my events, they're not ever more than 2 artists. So it's always just the artist of the main artist, no, of the night, of the day, and an invited one. So we can also help another artist. But there's no lack of focus, you know, like 5, 10 artists in the same exhibition. No, I like to work this way, and really exploring the series and the concept that we are building on around.
Yes, I'm totally with you, because I think the support that you as Chef and Samamba do for the start in the artist career is very important. Talking as a art student, you know, and yeah, I'm very proud of that also. I want to go back to the conversation about the documentation and the archive, let's say, about the artist, because in the curatorial levels, that information is very important. We have the pleasure that Michelle is alive, and
yeah, exactly.
And everything is like we can ask her, but
Are you?
for so many artists that are already dead, for the curators, it's very hard to find a good documentation about it. It's great to take note about the dates, about the artist statement, the series statement, and if it's important, the artwork statement, you know, and the things that I saw in the video, for me looks very well done. To have to know more about the artist, because also sometimes the artists don't know how to tell the story.
Exactly.
Can't communicate the way that a gallery or a space for to exhibition or a curator wants to hear, you know. So that practice is very, very, very nice, and also highlight the most important exercise or things for the artist at the beginning. So it's going to be easier in the future, you know, in 20, 30 years, that information is going to explain a lot. I have a very small example, but very important. It's about Picasso. Picasso like a blue time.
Mm-hmm.
Good, it's a very good documentation about it. But if there's no documentation about it, the blue time, it doesn't matter. I don't know how to say it, but it will be not that great as we know Picasso. So it's just the documentations that do about the blue time important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that I want to say. And also, looking back the paintings, connote objects with a great heritage value, but we will know that these objects are found buried most of the time, or are stolen also, and the museums don't have like the information that we need. What I saw in the experience, the prototype experience that show, is like the idea of finding the object, and that's very well done. Like the meaning, the discovering the meaning of the pieces in the video that you show. It's kind of cool to say that as the objects in the objects meaning in the real life, the experience, the interactive experience that shows in a few spaces that the arts are. It's a good. I like that. And well, I don't know if you want to comment about that, but I have this small exercise for just to finish my habits.
You have an exercise
for us.
Yeah,
okay.
for you.
I think I just want to comment in, like, I really like what you say, everything, the documentation part, and like this thing of like the artist is alive. I love that sentence. I love this phrase because that's what I think all the time. Like an artist being alive to me is like a blessed, like it's really something that makes me happy to be working with an alive artist and be able. No, really. I know it sounds like a bit weird, but I always think about this topic. Like these experiences, like in situ experience, can just be done in the most authentic way because the artist is alive. Like I always go to, for example, here we have like the immersive experiences now, like of what's the name, like the not Mira, it's like
Dali.
Yeah, the Dali experience or the Frida Kahlo experience. And I go to these places and I'm wondering, like, how true is this? Like they're not alive. Would they even like this? Would they even Klimt as well? Would they even allow this to be happening? Like would they want this to be happening? Is this interpretation of the creator right? I hate this feeling of like, I don't know if this is true, or if, again, it's a story. Okay, exhibitions are also a storytelling, experience in a way. But like, I want to be able to tell the truth of an artist. And that's why with being alive, to me, is a blessing. Like I love working with a live artist, so I can really, again, get to know them, their world, their universe, why they do what they do. Even if they tell me I don't know why, we can try to explore this, or maybe not. Maybe they want to be known as something super abstract. And that's okay too, Like with Michelle, we went deep in the concept. We have a whole story to tell. And in situ experience, the event, like it's basically we are telling a story and you're participating in that, excavating and finding the artwork. So, I just wanted to comment that because I think it's such a nice thing to be working with contemporary artists and being able to create amazing things with them and very authentic things. And I don't know, I just think it's beautiful, and that people should also value contemporary artists, emerging artists, because they have a lot of things to offer, I
think the same, and I want to do a quick exercise. Are you ready?
Let's do. Yeah. Playtime. It's playtime.
Yes, playtime. Let's go. I'm going to beat you.
She didn't say if it's a competition.
I know.
No, it's not. It's very organic exercise. You have on the back painting of Michelle, right? Like the real one.
Yeah.
Okay. Simply just watch the paint and deeply and very sincere way say what you see. You Shaf as a manager, as a mentor, and after Michelle as an artist. So maybe it's better if you draw so the painting and just say whatever you think about it.
Maybe.
And then I will say why.
Yeah. Wait.
I can.
But actually, I can put here again.
Okay, who goes first?
Shaf first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
And maybe the people that it's watching can do the same exercise.
Yeah. Put in the comment below. They can see very well because of the lighting, but we do have some things written down, no? So what I see here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Of course I know a lot of the work, but I think to me it's like I clearly see identity here. I see a certain type of identity. I don't know exactly from where, for example, but I know it's ancient. I know it's something probably related to indigenous cultures because of the patterns, because of my knowledge of this as well. I managed to see stuff in my life that look a bit like that, and I know they are ancient or indigenous heritage. And I see someone that is curious as well about this figure, that wants to understand through these notes and go deeper again, like I like to do, into whatever they see, the hidden meanings around this whole object. And I also see the stamps, which tells me that there is something official related to that. You know, like I don't know exactly what, but it has traveled, so it might be something important. This artifact, this figure, it's important because people are trying to understand it and because it traveled and has official stamps on it. So that's what I see.
Oh. Nice.
Now me.
Now, Michelle,
Okay.
when you see this, maybe you can talk about you can talk about as an artist or as another person, whatever you want. Not just see what you paint and say whatever you feel or you think.
Okay, well, in this painting, I've chosen some words of what I see. So I see exploration, studying, and learning. So what I mean by exploration, I don't mean like traveling to the site and excavating and exploring. I see exploration as studying and learning. So like Chav said, with the notes and everything, I see like somebody trying to study this object and trying to understand. So that's also, like, now I will speak as the artist, that's also what I do for, like you say, I talk about growing up in the United States and coming from Venezuela, so I had to explore myself and study myself and learn about myself because I had people seeing me and taking notes. You know, this is all metaphorically or what's that word? Hypothetically. Like, I had people imposing their opinions, their interpretations of me onto me, as if they knew me and they're writing these notes about me. But I have to be the one that declares my cultural identity. Because I'll give an example about that. Growing up in the United States, and even still, like this just happened like last week. People from Venezuela don't see me as Venezuelan, but I've only been legally American the past 3 years. So so it's like, why are you telling me what my culture is just because I don't speak the way you speak, or I didn't grow up there, you know? And so that's what I think. Like I see exploring culture and trying to understand, which is what I still try to do.
Yeah.
No, it's very nice.
What do you see?
This exercise, what I see, well, obviously I'm related to these objects as a heritage, you know, so it's kind of what Chef saw and Michelle says, because knowing the migration as a topic and how we talk or we live with this, and we are like close, like it's Latin America, it's Central America, doing these issues with the US or not, you know. So it's kind of both. Obviously talks about heritage, talks about roots. The color is very unique, like you can identify where is this piece. Like for example, in Guatemala the pieces are more red. Here we have like a mix of gold and jade, but in the south we have like another colors, and so it's hard to identify where is it. And with the signs, like
tattoos almost.
Yes, that mention something that doesn't know where is it, you know, and the background also offers that idea, because the background says nothing about where is it. It's just in like a big cloud or something like that. So it's something like you said, Michelle, like something what people see about another person and with another culture, but it's not another one. It's the same, you know. Like we, like, for example, I'm from Costa Rica, you are from Brazil, you are from Venezuela, like Latin America. We have some relations in our culture. But we are totally different persons, you know. But kind of hard to know if we don't talk in Spanish. It's kind of hard to talk to say where are you from, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right. So this quick exercise is kind of explaining the important for the creator who reads the artist's work in a different way. So as you can see, Shop talks about the anthropology side, Michelle about the identity. I talk about the color, let's say, around the piece, and it can give a different narrative to the artist's work itself, the curatorial practice, and accompanying with shop, they can also give up the perception of the pictorial work, the narrative that we want to show about Michelle works, you know. It's kind of different. We have already 3 topics with one piece,
Exactly.
you know. So as a curator, it's very interesting to research more about any of those.
Yeah.
Topics.
I guess
Talk about
explore the possibilities of how to talk about this work, no, depending where you're trying to take this artist, for example.
yes.
Some galleries will like more, like for example, if it's at a gallery like you that focus on artists that are Latin American, maybe no, I can approach the story in this way for you. If you're a gallerist, a creator that is looking for literally like ancient artifacts and you want to know from where it is, then the color, and then I can, you know, and this is based on an artifact from the Mexican, you know, whatever era. So yeah, I think this story thing and how you frame it again is all part of the strategy as gallery, as a manager, as a creator as well, and how you will talk about that artist that you're trying to reach something with them.
Yes, and if Michelle is interesting about it, it's okay. But this work is about more than the market, the galleries, the curators, the commissioners talk about your artwork in this way. But it's very good for the artist to know how this works also, and doing that perspective or starting with that, it's a very good job.
Thank you. Well,
no, thank you for that.
No, thanks. I love the exercise. It's very nice. It added a lot to the episode. Also,
this is the best episode.
Yeah, like, I love it. It's very cool. And we're running a little bit out of time though. So I just wanted to say that the artworks that I've been showing while we were speaking. So we have, and now here with us even physically, we have It Belongs in a Museum. So all of the next ones that I'm showing you, including this one, they are part of the exhibition in Optica. They're all in situ series, and those were the selected artworks from in situ series for Optica Gallery. So we have It Belongs in a Museum, Don't Tell My Grandma, Lost and Found, which is also the poster of in situ experience.
Great.
And Rock Hard Bond. So those are the artworks that Silvia had selected for her digital gallery, and also at some point, hopefully, physically, this will be exhibited with Optica. And I don't know, do you want to say something to wrap it up? How are you feeling about the future?
I feel very encouraged. I'm gonna leave here like walking down the street like
happy, satisfied. I'm very happy with this collaboration. I'm very happy about working with Michelle, working with Silvia. I have met you, girls, and that's so nice to meet you. It's so early also being able to meet wonderful people, very talented, hardworking people like you are, and that's what I'm looking for always. And I think I just wanted to remind you again, this was the last episode of the 5-episode series called Playtime, that is from SAMAMBA. SAMAMBA is a platform that creates interactive and participatory experiences around arts and culture, in collaboration always with international artists. Michelle is one of them, and she is the first one that we're doing this season of 5 episodes in which we explore in depth the universe of an artist. So yeah, I'm very happy that we end up this first season as well. This was a very, I don't know, I don't think it is. So I think this was for me, very interesting experience to film, to get to know you better. Also Silvia, to have you here as invited guest. And yeah, I'll invite you all to stay tuned. I'll put in the cover now, Silvia.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you so much for participating and collaborating with us, and we'll keep in touch with you.
Yes, of course.
And please, people, scan the QR code or check the description below. We're gonna have the links for Optica as well, and support the project and get to know the project. It might be helpful for you or any artist that you know. So yeah, guys, we have the in situ experience coming. So invite you all to stay tuned, follow Samamba, make sure, especially if you're in Barcelona, make sure that you follow us so you can participate in this incredible experience that we are creating for you. By the way, on the 13th of October, we're gonna be having again the pocket experience. So just that tiny version of in situ experience in Buena Onda Social Club. We're gonna be adding this as well in our social media. So again, stay tuned. Also, we have here the QR code for Michelle. Michelle's social media, website, everything. So please check it. Support the artist, support the platform. Any help is welcome. And I really hope to see you in our event, to get to know you in person. And yeah, I don't know, I think that's it. We're now closing the last episode of Playtime.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you,
participating.
Juka, for being a part of this last episode.
Yeah, thank you, Juka. And I'll leave you a little bit with Juka's DJ set.
Turn it up.
Yay, I'm gonna turn it up. Ciao.
No disconnect. I the cat cruise forget. If you talk, you collect. It goes down when my G's connect.